So this week, Scorpio from Leave Empire, you pulled Death Rites, saying goodbye, formal occasion, and honoring lives. And then from Chakra Wisdom, you pulled Discovery. Now, those of you who know me obviously know that Death Rites is going to resonate with me. But I cannot ignore the fact that this has shown up twice during the shuffle. So I think that maybe I am not the only one that needs to hear this right now. And death rites, for me, it's not just about honoring the lives of those who have passed on, but it's also about honoring the lives of the people that have been really influential in your life and maybe have moved on to something else. But we will look at the blessing and then working with this card. So the blessing says, honoring the ones who we have loved and who have left can be a beautiful way to come to terms with their absence, and a way to help their soul make the transition to their new life beyond the veil. This is about evidence of life beyond death. And then working with this card, it is time to work with any fear you may have around death and dying and transform this through preparation, contemplation of your legacy, and considering the interactions you have had with deceased loved ones. And then discovery. Discovery from Chakra Wisdom. I like this one. The very first quote for this says, I am more than I think I am. The inspiration says, are you trying to recapture a past that no longer fits? If you are presently upset or struggling with a difficult situation, you may be seeking to keep something that is far less than what you deserve. The personal question says, am I happy in this situation? How is it benefiting me? The healing of predetermined agreements must be addressed. Awareness is healing. The key ideas are leaving the past behind, a readiness for a new adventure, a willingness to venture into uncharted territory, and a new level of self-care. Now, when it comes to venturing into some uncharted territory, I don't ever think that that's been an issue for Scorp, right? I mean, you're famous for going into the depths of something, getting dirty, but then coming out clean and brand new, right? But I do think that death rites needs to be heard, not just for me, but for some of you as well. But I do like discovery because it is saying that, all right, Scorp, here we go. Here's the energy coming through. Woo! Shit. Judgment. Now, don't get me wrong. Judgment is a very beautiful card. This, just as much as death, talks about rebirth, but this is, the review. To me, it is assessment, atonement, and then rebirth, right? It is about the review of the past. But there's also, hearing that call, hearing your soul's calling and wanting to act on that. Now, my problem with judgment is, man, I don't like the idea of the review. I mean, honestly, when you're talking about, with death rites, the fear of dying, that's probably the one thing that I don't want to deal with. Like, I don't want to review anything, please. Just, it is what it is. Now, some of you may be making some judgments as well on people, situations, possibly on yourself. But the energy is good. It's just, for me, it scares me. And in the past, the Two of Wands, talking about hearing the calling, right? And then seeing the Two of Wands. When you're looking at the word dominion, right? Usually when you look at the Two of Wands, you're holding your own world in your hands. What are you going to do with it, right? The Two of Wands is suggesting that for some of you, you may be at that crossroads. What path am I going to take? And what actions am I going to start taking here to start creating the things that you want to see in your own world, right? Oh, and in the present, that worries me. Now, I kind of get the feeling here too that for some of you, you may be looking at like doing something new because what you're doing right now is not satisfying, right? Maybe there's a need to change things up a little bit because when I see the Four of Cups, I see boredom. Boredom and blah. Just not being in it emotionally. Not invested in something emotionally. There's that lethargic feeling, which is, yuck. That's no good. No good. But, I do get the feeling that, for a lot of you, yeah, with the Two of Wands, you're making those decisions to start taking action. And you're feeling it and you're hearing it, right? It's just that in the present moment, maybe something's blocking you. And it's blocking you emotionally. Future conditions, the Prince of Pentacles or the Knight of Pentacles. Now, seeing this to me is saying that, ooh, man. Looking at slow movement with judgment for me is like, no, no. I want to get past that quickly, right? But seeing the Knight of Pentacles, to me, it's almost saying that in future conditions, you're going to have to bust your ass, and it may take a while. Because this is slow. It's slow. And then the other thing too is for some of you, you may be in this spot here where you know what it is that you want to do. And maybe you have some, really great ideas here with the Two of Wands that you're ready to act on. But then you get to this point here where it's like you're dragging your feet, right? I almost worry about procrastination here too. And then for some of you, it may be getting to the point here where things may feel like they're just going along too slowly. Especially with the Four of Cups, because it's almost saying like you're emotionally tired of waiting for things to start, producing some results when you're looking at the Pentacles, right? You're going to have to put in some hard work here, and it may take a while to get to, the results that you're wanting to see. But you have to be careful too about, there may be a better way of doing this instead of it being the situation where you're just kind of like slowly moving along. And it may be because of the way that you're feeling that things are happening so slowly. And maybe that's why, shit, the Ten of Swords, seeing that as your best path to follow immediately for me is saying that, whatever painful endings you have dealt with, you gotta let them go. You gotta let them go. The Ten of Swords for me, when this shows up in a reading, immediately I get the feeling of you're hanging on to something that's over with, but why, right? And the problem is for a lot of us, when we go through painful endings, it's hard for us to let it go and just be done with it. This is saying that it's over with. It's like you need a kick in the ass here to remember that this is done. This is over with here. You're looking at your rebirth happening. But maybe some of you are just, because of this, feeling so blah and not really moving forward as fast as you could be. In your environment, why would you be bored with that? It's so opposing. It's so opposing. The Princess of Wands is the Page of Wands. These are exciting messages, but you are not excited about it at all. At all. You come in with, yeah, I'm going to do this, but then something is happening with you emotionally where I think maybe some of you are drained. You're drained because you're still hanging on to something that is over with that was extremely painful. And then judgment, again, needing to make clear judgments on these situations and understanding that you got to let it go. Because in your environment, this to me is saying, when you're looking at the pages, to me, these are the messengers, right? And this one's bringing some excitement, right? Doing something new, doing something exciting, but emotionally, you're just not in it. You're not in it. Your hopes and your fears, the Four of Pentacles. Stop it. Stop doing that. Stop it. You're hanging on to it. You are. You're hanging on to that. And here you pulled, for me, the difficult fours. I would much rather have seen like the Four of Wands, or even the Four of Swords for that matter, doing some healing. But here instead you're hanging on to this. I'm telling you, you're hanging on to that. Whatever it is that you're hanging on to, It's causing this like lethargic feeling when you should be excited about, you know, the calling. I mean, look at it, you know, it's there. It is there. You have the ability to start acting on it. And if you do, and you do let go of this, you're going to get past this emotional funk and you're going to start working toward it. But the problem is it's going to take a while. And while that's happening, you're still like processing this, you know, and needing to make different judgments based on what you may have been through here. Oh, and then the outcome, Scorp, what the hell are you doing? The Seven of Cups. When you're looking at it in this deck, the word debauch or debauchery is talking about trying to heal depression with self-defeating means. But the Seven of Cups is being in la la land, you know, not clearly seeing the options that are available. Or maybe daydreaming about shit rather than acting toward it. And it may be because you're hanging on to something that's just making you feel like shit. I mean, you know, it's there. It's there. I just think that, you know, for some of you, yeah, it's great and it's exciting, but I've got all this other shit going on. You know, and where you pull out here, it's almost like, you know, you got to let go of the painful ending. It's over and it's done with. You got to get your head out of the fucking clouds here, and you're going to have to start working, and it may take a little while. But, you know, in the meantime, it's like you're dealing with these things and you're not really there. You're just not really there yet. You know, and then for some of you, you may have a lot of different options on, you know, where are you going? Where are you going? What are you going to do? Right? I think the message is loud and clear. It's just that for you, you've got other stuff going on emotionally that is blocking you. It's blocking you from seeing what would be the best path for you to take. Now, too, when it comes to the Seven of Cups, you know, you have to do what's going to make you happy, right? You know, you can't stay in this emotional blah feeling. You have to do what is going to make you happy. I'm going to pull a clarifier on that Seven of Cups. The Six of Swords. Jeez. All right. For a lot of you, you are definitely wanting to get into a calmer emotional space. When you're looking at the Six of Swords connected with the Seven of Cups and then looking at the Four of Cups, right? And you're wanting to move away from this, but it's hard for you to do right now because you're not seeing clearly on how to let go of that. But, you know, again, it's like potential is all the way around you, but you have to make the choice to start acting on it and get away from that emotional funk and this emotional like cloud that's like hanging over you. You know, you need to let go of the painful things. You need to hear that calling. And I think it's clear for you. It's just your focus isn't directly on it where it needs to be. Instead, you've got these things blocking it. You know, and I do think that you'll get there when you're looking at the Six of Swords. You know, you'll probably get to that point where you kind of snap out of it. And you realize, okay, now I'm done dealing with this. I'm done being in this space. Now I need to start moving away from this and going into that calmer situation before you start making the decisions to act, you know. But in judgment, right? I think for a lot of you, you need to look at this situation differently. So you're not hanging on to it and feeling like blah, blah. Be open and surrender. The two are like hand in hand. Be open to surrendering to, you know, that detachment and needing to let go of those painful things. All right, so we're going to take a look at Whispers of Love. This one's difficult. It's difficult. And damn it, after that eclipse, this energy better be done with. I want to see some amazing shit happening for you, but man, you've got to detach from whatever is emotionally like blah, blah. I hate that card because immediately I'm like, I don't want to feel that way. Express love through gifts. Giving a small token to someone expresses your love to them. And that's always beautiful advice, and it doesn't have to be anything super expensive either. But, if you're happy in a relationship and you're just dealing with some stuff internally, that may open up the energy for you too, like when you're out and you're thinking about your partner, right? Pick up like a little something for them. Like for me, it's like if I stop at the gas station on the way home from work, I'm thinking about my husband. I know he likes Pepsi Fire, so I got to pick it up for him, right? Love is all around you. Beautiful. There is love everywhere all the time. Simply acknowledge this as truth. And, when it comes to having that love all around you, that may help you with the way that you're feeling emotionally, because I do think that it has to do with what your true calling is. It's just that there are some things blocking you from getting there right now. But I think you do. I think you do. I think that you'll get to a point here where your head is going to come out of the clouds and you're going to start moving into something that's a little bit more calmer. And I think it'll open you up to being able to start acting on this new excitement, right? Because it's there, and you're hearing it with judgment. It's just that there's other things that you're going to have to judge differently as well. All right, Scorp. So, we're just going to get this one out of the way. So clearly some of you know that this is going to apply to me. But because this one came out, I do feel like, I'm not the only one that needs to hear it. And it is so important here for you to honor the lives of those who have passed, right? I mean, that goes without saying, especially if they've had an impact on your life. But looking at discovery, I do think that for a lot of you, you are discovering what you were meant to do. I mean, that's the immediate feeling here. But there are some things that need to be let go of. I mean, between discovery, looking at the Ten of Swords, looking at the Four of Pentacles, and then looking at the Four of Cups on top of that, it's like, oh man. Emotionally, for me, this one is like, it's weighing me down because I can feel it. It's like, what you're meant to do. The opportunity is there. You come in with this feeling of like making the decisions that you need to start acting toward this. It's just that there are some other things that you're going to have to face first in order to get to that spot. And I do think that, it's going to be a long journey, right? It's going to take a little bit, and that's understandable. But, when you're dealing with these things and needing to release them and let them go, you still have to be willing to put in the effort toward your calling, and what you're meant to do. It's going to take a while for you to get there, and you're going to have to bust your ass, but it's going to be worth it. I just think that while this is going on, you've got things that are still going on with you emotionally. But I do think that you get to a point here where you start getting out of the clouds and you start moving into something that's a little bit more calmer for you, where you can start going after what you are meant to do. Because again, seeing judgment here, I really do think that you understand what it is that you're meant to do. It's just there are other things that have to be dealt with. Be open to surrendering and detaching yourself from the pain. I mean, it's just so loud and clear, right? You got to surrender these emotional feelings, and you have to surrender and let go of the things that are over and done with. There's no point in hanging on to it anymore. I mean, really, to get out of that emotional funk, you do need to clear that energy out. I think that now is the time for you to come out of the depths and get rid of this, because you've got something by far more important going on for you. Now, in terms of love, I love these two cards. Definitely express your love for your partner through gifts. It opens up that energy, right? And then also, on the other hand, some of you may be receiving some loving gifts as well. And then love is all around you. That is a beautiful energy to have. That tells me that no matter what you're going through, you are surrounded by people who love you, which is good, and it's what you need to help you through the difficult situations you may have been through that you're like hanging on to. You gotta let it go, Scorp. You gotta move forward, because I do think that you are getting some really strong messages right now, letting you know exactly what it is that you're meant to do. And, you know, again, I feel like you get to a point here where you start getting out of it, and you will be able to start acting on these decisions that you initially made in the first place.